New York hasn't always had Albany as its capital. It's moved around a few times. Kingston was the first capital after New York adopted its first state constitution in 1777. It was chosen because the largest settlement at the time, New York City, was under British control, so that was a big no-no for the Revolution. So Kingston was also in the middle of the state and it was on the Hudson River for easy travel, but that also had some terrible downsides to it. But in October of 1777, the British were coming up the Hudson, doing their whole war thing, and since Kingston was on it, they burned it to the ground and forced the legislation to move. So while fleeing from the British after that, they ended up in Hurley. This is a temporary capital since they were retreating pretty much, and they set up their military camp here. It was only really used to regroup and get their act together. After Hurley, they chose to make the capital Poughkeepsie, and it remained the capital until the end of the war in 1783. Poughkeepsie's on the Hudson River, but unlike Kingston, it was spared from being burned down like Kingston was. So being on that made it a good choice for the war effort and moving people up and down and having a easy getaway, kind of. Also, it was in the center of the state, so it had an easy way to govern where the troops were and just govern the state in general. But after the war ended, they pretty much didn't need to be where they were, so they could choose where they wanted to go now. So from 1783 to 1797, the capital kind of moved around from Kingston, Albany, Poughkeepsie, New York, and kind of changed around until 1797. So during this time, New York became the capital, and then it was also the capital for the country at the time then too. It was chosen probably because it was already set up to basically be a capital, and it was on a waterway already, so it was easy to get to and from it. And it was also a very populous city at the time, so it had a lot of political power for it being a capital. But as the population started to move more upstate, it was way too far south for just governing in general. So in 1797, they chose to make Albany the permanent capital, and it was chosen because it was already pretty much center of the state and it was on the Hudson, so it was easy to get to. And it helped balance the political power between downstate and upstate New York. So that's all the different capitals that New York's had throughout its time being a state. Thanks for watching. If you found this interesting, leave a comment, all that fun stuff. And if you have any interesting facts about New York, leave them in the comments below. Thank you.